Attorney DeAngelo, you ready to go for the opening?
Yes, Your Honor.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, next time, no one will find me. That was a statement that Victoria Prokopovitz stated to her family the second time she tried to commit suicide. I'm going to state it again. Next time, no one will find me. I could sit up here and tell you that this was a perfect family. It wasn't. I could tell you that this family was full of love and happiness and there was always good times, but it wasn't. Was there good times? Absolutely. Every family has good times. Was there bad times? Absolutely. What the state has not told you is Victoria Prokopovitz has suffered from mental health issues since a teenager. She's been seeing a counselor since 1971. She was 18 years old. And she struggled with her mental health since that time. Since that time, she had been diagnosed with multiple personalities, where she had several different individuals. She was diagnosed with depression, anxiety, and there were suicide attempts. The state wants you to believe that my client murdered his wife because he wanted to get in a relationship with another woman. It's not true. The state wants you to believe that my client, at 68 years old, perfectly executed his wife's murder to the point that nobody can find her. You're not going to hear how it happened. You're not going to know when it happened. You're not going to have proof of a body. A 68-year-old man got rid of his wife, a grown woman, so perfectly that the house wasn't disturbed. My client opened up his house, he opened up his life to let the police search. The state's right. They did searches. They searched with dogs multiple times, even specialized dogs, cadaver dogs, looking for Victoria Prokopovitz. They searched with drones, sonar, individuals, family members, highly trained, specialized officers who do this. This is their job, their living, and they're good at their job. I got to believe they're good at their job, because they wouldn't be doing their job if they weren't good at it. And yet we sit here today with no body and no evidence of how she disappeared. They say my client was the only one that saw her before she disappeared. It's not exactly true. You're going to find out that James and Victoria lived with Victoria's son, Wesley. Wesley was there the day she disappeared. Wesley doesn't know what happened to her. Jim doesn't know what happened to her. The only person that knows what's happened to Victoria is Victoria. The problem with mental health is you never know when it's going to come on. You can have a good day, and just like that, it can change to a bad day. This is a missing persons case. Still is a missing persons case. Over the next several weeks, you're going to hear testimony from all these individuals that went looking for Victoria. They looked at quarries, they looked at sludge ponds, they looked at fields, they went down to the Mountain Bay Trail. They searched any and every lead they could get. If they heard it in a bar, they checked it out. Why? Because these guys are good at their job. They did not take a stone and not unturn it. If they heard it was up in a forest somewhere on mile marker 20, they went and looked. Why? Because she was missing. But they haven't found her. They want to get to the conclusion and then backfill how it works. Part of this is that Victoria's family doesn't like the way my client grieves. They don't like the fact that he didn't go on searches. Professionals were searching for her. Professionals with trained animals went looking for her. When they went on those searches, they went to the same places the professionals did. That's why he said, you're not going to find her. If the professionals can't find her, how do you think you're going to? This is a missing persons case. The state has the burden of proof in this case to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my client killed his wife and he did it intentionally. You're going to hear about the night of the 25th into the 26th. You're going to hear that Jim got up like normal. He works at McKeefrey's, went to work that morning, went home to take his wife to a doctor's appointment. She went to see her psychiatrist that day. They drove home. He dropped her off, went back to work to check out his time card, went to Super Ron's, picked up some chicken at the deli, came home. Jim, Victoria, Wes, they all had dinner together. At some point, as the evening got on, Jim took his boots off, does what most truck drivers do, sat in his recliner and he fell asleep. That's the last time he saw Victoria, was when he went to sleep. At some point, Wes left the house, said he saw Jim laying on the couch or on the recliner, watching TV, possibly dozing off, and his mother was still in the kitchen. Then Wes was gone. And then when Jim woke up at 3 a.m., he went around the house looking for his wife. She wasn't there. He hollered for her, hollered for Wes, went outside, searched the property, couldn't find her. When he couldn't find her on the property, he got in his truck and started searching the roads. When he came back, Wes was coming in. Now, Wes, you're going to hear that he gave several statements to the police, just like my client. And Wes's stories weren't exactly consistent as to his time frame. But neither Wes nor Jim know where Victoria is. Now, the state wants to say, well, Jim didn't call the police right away, neither did Wes. Jim didn't call the family right away, neither did Wes. Jim didn't go on the searches, neither did Wes. Because Wes and Jim lived with Victoria on a daily basis. They dealt with her mental issues on a daily basis. You're going to hear that both Victoria's two daughters didn't see her since November of 2012. They didn't go visit her. It's easy for somebody to come in and disagree of how the way you grieve when you don't live with somebody with mental health on a daily basis. Jim and Wesley lived with Victoria on a daily basis. Victoria tried to commit suicide for sure twice. You're going to hear about a garage incident where she tried to gas herself, where her daughters found her. You're going to hear about a pill overdose in 2002, right around Thanksgiving time, where their son Wes found her. That's when she said, "Next time, no one will find me." She was upset that they found her. You're also going to hear about another pill overdose in 2008. Now, that one, she said it wasn't a suicide attempt, but we're not 100% sure. You're also going to hear that she had cancer and that she struggled with it. It was getting better. It was colon cancer. She had a colostomy bag. It was reversed. But you're also going to find out that she wasn't as unable to move around as the state would have you to believe. In fact, she had the ability to go places. Wes lived with them. Wes had a car. Wes could take her anywhere she wanted to go. She could walk. She could move around. You would hear she used to putz around the yard, and she used to do it without her cane. Ladies and gentlemen, you're also going to hear about my client and that he met up with an old friend, Kathy Friday. Absolutely. But you're not going to have any evidence that he talked to her or dealt with her prior to Victoria missing. Why? He loved his wife. Still loves his wife. Everybody in this room wants to know where Victoria Prokopovitz is, including Jim. He wants to know where his wife is. We wouldn't be standing here today if we knew where she was. You wouldn't be necessary, because we would know. The fact of the matter is there is no body, there is no evidence. She is gone. The state has to prove that she's dead. No, Jim says she's dead. They're going to say, well, he talked to people while he's in custody. Well, of course, he's in custody. That was in 2019, 6 years later. Somebody says, what happened to your wife? Well, she passed. She's dead. It's been 6 years. She hasn't come back. It's an easy statement to make. It's also easy to interpret. I would love to tell you that this was the perfect family and everybody got along, but they didn't. But that's real life. This is real life. I can drone on, but I want you to look at the evidence as it comes in. I want you to take careful notes about timelines, time frames, and people's stories. I also want you to take careful note about how people turned on Jim because he wasn't grieving the way they wanted him to. You heard the state talk about how he wanted to get rid of her stuff. You're also going to hear that there was a telephone call in December of 2013, right around Christmas, where Jim told his stepdaughter, I just can't get rid of her stuff. And it shocked her. They want to make Jim sound like he is cold-hearted and did not love this woman, and that's not true. He loved this woman. He cared for this woman. He took her to doctor's appointments. They say that he was controlling. If your wife had overdosed on pills multiple times, wouldn't you lock them up so she'd stay safe? I would. That doesn't sound like a controlling husband. That sounds like a loving husband, trying to keep his wife alive. I leave you with this. Next time, no one will find me. Victoria's own words. Thank you.